view of the Royal Palace from the sixth floor of the theatre.
Exactly. And behind the Royal Palace, the cathedral.
That's the cathedral, those are domes.
Yeah. And in front of the cathedral is a big square, which is the main entrance to the Royal Palace. The white doors here, however big they look to my eyes, this is a side entrance. The main entrance faces the Royal Palace faces the cathedral. And this is Plaza Oriente, the eastern square.
Now a little bit of a history of the Royal Palace. The real Alcazar, the stronghold, preceded the Royal Palace of today. The fire in the Alcazar on Christmas Eve 1734 led to the nearly total demolition of the Alcazar and the construction of a new palace more in line with the time and the new monarchy. And the new palace was built in 1738 using mostly masonry to prevent future fires. The towering balustrade with a series of Spanish kings crowns the cornice. Charles III personally participated in the redesign and renovation of the palace during his reign. For instance, he replaced the statues with 4 columns near the main entrance. What you're seeing now is a courtyard inside the royal palace right after the visitor's entrance. The marble statue at the top of the staircase is that of Charles IV. Sabatini created the staircase in 1760, and it was repaired in the early reign of Charles IV. The staircase used the same marble and other construction materials found in the other rooms of the palace. Corrado Gioquinto painted the frescoes for the lunette vault, which is decorated with huge lighting oculi as part of Sacchetti's iconographic concept to exalt the Spanish monarchy. In them, he painted allegories that collectively depict the triumph of religion and the church in the main vault, the victory of Spain over Saracen dominance in one of the two lunettes above the door, and Hercules pulling the pillars of Gibraltar in defiance of Neptune's might in the lunette in front, situated behind the statue of Charles IV. The virtues said to be emblematic of Ferdinand VI's rule are depicted on the cornice. At a period when it was vital to strengthen the idea of being Spanish, all of these images stand for the universality and values of the Spanish country. In this ballroom, there's a Spanish royal family photo on the wall. In the photo, we can see the abdicated King Juan Carlos I and his son, the current King of Spain, Felipe VI, their wives, and King Juan's daughter. King Juan abdicated in 2014 due to a series of financial scandals and sagging popularity. Lots of tapestries throughout the palace. This is Gasparini Chamber. It's one of the most beautiful halls in the palace, and it remained virtually unaltered to the present day and features decorations that date back to Charles III's time. The ornamental scheme took about 50 years to finish for a variety of reasons. This was the location where, in accordance with the prevailing custom, the monarch would get dressed in front of the court. Its decor, created by Mattas Gasparini, is extremely unique and in the Barocco chinoiserie style. The upholsteries on the walls, the marble floors, and the furnishing were all created together. The clock over the fireplace is also noteworthy because it features automatons dancing in the 18th century attire as a seated shepherd plays the flute as the timer goes off. Gala Dining Room. The Gala Dining Room is also called the Queen's Room, which was intended for Dora Mara Amalia of Saxony, the wife of Charles III, but was never filled because she passed away in 1760, 4 years before the palace was inhabited. It used to be three separate chambers, which were later connected upon King Alfonso XII's request. The formal Gala Dining Room was officially launched in 1879 with grand supper of the king's second marriage to Maria Cristina de Habsburgo-Lorena. Up to 144 persons may sit around the table. It's a huge dining room. The Fortunas and Pomona series of tapestries by the 16th century Belgian craftsman Willem Pannemaker adorn the walls. The walls and balcony openings are respectively decorated with six enormous bronze and porcelain vases by Severus and gigantic 18th century Chinese porcelain Tiborus. The walls were painted to reflect historical events. The dawn in his chariot, Christopher Columbus before the Catholic monarchs after the discovery of America, and the surrender of Grenada, Crown Room. On June 19, 2014, Felipe VI was proclaimed King of Spain, and the room was rebuilt to include the emblem of the constitutional monarchy. As a result, the crown and scepter from the royal collections, which had only previously been used for ceremonial events and had never been seen by the general public, are now on display. The crown was made during the reign of Charles III, and the scepter belongs to Charles II. Both items have been used as the Hispanic monarch's insignia since Isabella II's rule. The gold necklace is from the Order of the Golden Fleece and is constructed of cast, carved, and enameled gilded silver and gold, and was imposed onto the Virgin of Adocia by Isabella II in 1854. The Throne Room. The ceiling paintings are by Tiepolo. It is one of Giambattista Tiepolo's final pieces. The enormous painted fresco shows the greatness and power of the Spanish monarchy. The Spanish throne is shown being protected by Apollo and Minerva, as well as the images of the Virgin. Little lovebirds wearing the Order of the Golden Fleece insignia fly on the opposite side. The overall topic of the ensemble is the exaltation of the monarchy and the current ruler. The majority of the sculptures on display in this chamber are from the collection that was taken from the Real Alcazar. This is because the Bourbon dynasty attempted to establish itself as the direct descendants of the House of Austria. Across the street from the Royal Palace is the Royal Theatre. There is a royal box inside the theater. We're going to go into the theater soon. But the royal box is reserved for the royal family permanently. You have to be a friend or invited guest of the royal family to be able to sit in that royal box. Lobby of the Royal Theatre of Madrid.
Ay, ¿estoy yo? ¿En serio? Sí, yo estaba aquí en tu ayer, además. ¿Qué dices? Pues me acuerdo. O sea, que nos conocemos en la de tus padres. Puede ser. Sí. Puede ser, puede ser. Pues sí, a mí ese es el que más me gusta, o sea, más entretenido. Yo quería ir. En el resto. Pero bueno, como banda sonora ese está bastante interesante. Sí, a mí me gusta. Sí, sí, ese es el que más me gusta. Porque el otro entretenimiento me...
Show. It's to say, welcome, come to the theatre. Isn't this lovely? And you go right up to the 6th floor, and the 6th floor is the beginning of the cheaper seats, the paradise or the gods.
So Nick was saying these pillars are fake.
Yep, you can hear. Look.
They're for decorations only.
Just decoration.
Yeah, you
They're
hear
not
that?
at all structural.
Oh,
If you knock them down, the building will not fall down.
Right. That's the entrance to the royal palace. Royal box.
The royal box is just there, yes.
Yes.
And on an opera night, they are serving wine here. People with tickets are talking, chatting. In the old days, people would be smoking, but of course, smoking's not allowed now.
Inside the Royal Theatre. That's a royal box right there. Quite a privilege, yeah, to be able to reserve it permanently. One of the many saloons in the Royal Theatre. Apparently, this is different from the theaters of today. People used to gather here before the show or during intermission for a drink and to socialize.
And they still do now.
And they still do now.
Spanish royal family. Every painting is a king or a queen. Queen Isabel II, she was the one who inaugurated the theatre in 1850. Her father is in the corner. He was the one who started the work in 1830s. And her son, and then his son. So it's father, daughter, grandson, great-grandson. And these are the kings and queens who were involved in this building. And behind us, we have the modern King Juan and the Reina Sofia, the Queen Sophia. So she lives in London and in Madrid. And
King Juan
and next to
and Queen Sophia.
And next to the station, Atocha station, is the modern art museum called El Museo de Reina Sofia. So Reina Sofia, she's still alive.
So after all that intensive experiences in the royal palace, I thought it might be a good idea to go to the royal garden nearby to relax a bit. After all, what better way to wrap up my royal days, so to speak, in Madrid? And the garden is pretty, very pretty. There are lots of flowers. There's water fountain and pavilions and lots of tulips. Hope you will enjoy the scenery and the tranquility as much as I did. Thanks for watching. See you in the next episode.